Hey guys, Grow Oregon here again. Figured we better get my plants into the ground. They're still being a little nitrogen deficient, although this guy has picked up after the last nitrogen feeding. I just think they'll do better in their home pots. So I'm going to show you how to transplant these into their final homes. They've been outside. This will be their third night on their own. I did have them under little teepees though, to keep them a little safer from the elements, the rain, all that. So I'm actually going to do the same thing here. And this is just a juice bottle. You can use a milk jug, any sort of things. But once we transplant them, we're just going to take these and push them into the ground a little bit. It'll act like a little greenhouse for them. So they'll, hopefully with this rainy, colder weather, they'll thrive a little bit more in the little greenhouse. And then once it gets hot again, we'll take them off and just let them go to town. So I'm going to show you on this one first. So how you get these out of here, and I've already done this once to take a look at the roots and see what they're doing, and I already know that they're a little bit root bound. So you kind of gently squeeze the sides, and then kind of push up on the bottom, and if you take it, put your fingers on either side of the stem, and then flip it upside down quickly. And then, because I've already done this, this was easy, but you might have to work yours a little bit more, sides, push on the bottom. But look on this, it's actually already starting to get root bound. So the roots are starting to grow around in circles, which isn't good. So that's another reason why I want to get it into its final home. So before we do this though, we need to dig ourselves a little hole here. So we'll put this one into this guy. And I've already made this soil according to my directions on the last blog post. It's 20% perlite, 20% black gold, natural and organic potting soil, and about 0.6 of a cup of dolomite lime per pot. So, and I mixed half of it in one go, mixed it well, watered it, and then mixed the other half, mixed it up real good again, and then watered it again. So this has been sitting for a couple days. Part of the reason you want to do this a little early is because the dolomite lime will actually take a couple days, up to a couple weeks, to start seeping into the soil. And our water is really soft here in Oregon, so that's why I wanted to do a little bit early and make sure there's plenty of calcium and magnesium in here. So this is kind of compacted a little bit. I'm going to loosen it up a little bit, make our little hole. Now I'm going to transplant this almost all the way down to the base, or the base of these leaves here, because this will actually grow roots out of that, which is perfect. So here we go. Flip it over again, same kind of thing. Some people like to break these up, some people don't. I haven't found, scientific evidence either way that says it's good or bad for it. So I'm just going to gently kind of start pulling them apart so they're at least not round, growing in circles around this base. And then, with that, put this guy in there and just starts packing in the soil around the edge. Actually, I didn't get that quite deep enough, but I think it's going to be okay. I'm okay with it not being completely buried up to the bottom leaf, just because it's not too tall, it's not stretching much. If yours was really stretching, you'd want to cover a lot of that stem, but for us here, this soil is nice and moist. That's all we're going to do. And look at that, she's going to be a happy plant. So I'm just slightly compacting it down because the water is going to do that naturally anyways. But don't push hard, just a nice soft, because you still want the roots to be able to get out to the edges. So, and then we'll put our little greenhouse over the top here and call it a day. Do the next one, same thing here. Dig ourselves a little hole and try to uncompact this a little bit where the root ball is going to be growing. Okay. And this one's not quite as deep as that other one. It's a littler plant. So same thing here. This one's going to be a little harder because I can either guess and just go like that, or for my sake I'm going to put both fingers here, flip upside down, and then slowly start working it out. And it's going to come out. There we go. And this one isn't really even root bound yet. It's just starting to get its roots on the bottom. So same thing, I'm going to pull them out gently. And then Start filling in the soil on the sides. Okay, and hopefully these guys in a couple days will start darkening up again and start looking a lot more healthy. I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't transplant to their final home until you've A, started hardening them off, or actually completed hardening them off, because now they're permanently out here. And B, you want to make sure they look fairly healthy, and these do. These look actually pretty good. Even though they're lightning, their leaves are nice and taut, meaning they're not drooping, they're not pointing up into the sky, they're, you know, nice and firm outwards both ways. Both of these look really good. So I don't feel bad putting them in their final home. Same thing with this one. Over goes the little greenhouse, and it's going to be a happy little camper. So with how much it's raining, I'm not going to water this because it's already quite moist. If your soil was dry, you should definitely water though. And that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Happy growing.